initial struggle?
So we are getting the machines from China, we are doing a QC, we are selling it. And at that point, we lost a lot of money in terms of providing after-sale service.
As you are into one of the India's fastest growing and complex sector, healthcare sector.
And currently, we are number one in India in terms of the respiratory segment. We beat big brands like...
What next in terms of innovation through your organization?
Things are also moving towards that ease of using the device and monitoring remotely.
Hi Suhas, good morning. How are you doing?
Hi Kripa, good morning. I'm doing great. And you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for coming here today and thank you for taking time out for us. Welcome to MultiDimensional Talks.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Hi all. Have you ever wondered how someone's vision can bring some change in the healthcare? Here is the story. This is the story of Suhas Shubhakaran, born and raised in Bengaluru, with a restless passion to making breathing easier for millions. From his early years navigating college classroom to founding Medequip, Suhas faced countless challenges. But every setback fueled innovation, creating affordable CPAP machines, portable oxygen units, and financing plans that brought respiratory care to every corner of India. Here is a glimpse into his journey, where route meets breakthroughs, ideas meet impact, and one founder's mission is shaping the future of respiratory health. Let's get into the podcast with Suhas Shubhakaran, who is the co-founder of Medequip Healthcare Solutions.
Hi Suhas, thanks for accepting my invite and thank you for coming here today. Even during busy schedule, you are taking time out for us. I'm so grateful for that.
Thank you for the invite. It's good to be here.
As you are into one of the India's fastest growing and complex sector, healthcare sector, so just wanted to know more about your practical experience and your journey. Maybe before we deep dive into the concept, start with your background and where you grew up and what you have studied and how you started this journey, what motivated you to get into the healthcare.
Okay. Well, start, rock bottom was my foundation. Okay. So I think to talk about my past, I would start from, I'm a typical Bangalore boy.
Okay.
Born and brought up in Bangalore.
Yeah.
My father is from Coorg,
Okay.
a Malayali from Coorg. My mom is from Kerala. So they got married, they came to Bangalore, they settled down here. And that's how I was born. And I come from very simple background where my dad lost both his parents at a very young age, my mom as well. So they had very limited education. So maybe until 10th. Even then, my mom could read and write Kannada, Hindi and English. So she initially taught me in my school days and so my dad had no formal education whatsoever. So he struggled his way through by working in bakeries, selling lottery tickets on the streets. And then at one point, he was the king of lottery in Bangalore. He had more than 40, 45 shops because he built his reputation over time. People could trust my dad. And after that, unfortunately, lottery got banned in Karnataka. So at that time, he was clueless in terms of what to do because he had come from that segment. And he started a fruit and vegetable store because he was in the center of the city market, right? That is where he started his life. And so there he started a vegetable store, didn't work out. And he opened a pharmacy.
Okay.
And all he knew was two medicines, Crocin and Brufen.
Oh.
And he opened a pharmacy. It was in front of Victoria Hospital and he named it Sri Medicals. And over the period of 6 to 7 months, he made it one of the fastest retail counter in that area or in Bangalore. Because when the pharma reps come and then when you ask them, they tell this is the fastest selling counter in Bangalore. So his trick was when any person comes to buy a medicine, within 4 to 5 minutes, they should be out of the store. So we had like a lot of people set there. So he set up the systems in place. And at that time, he always wanted me to start a business rather than join a company or work for someone or anything. So he always wanted me to be involved in terms of seeing what he does. So he wanted me to come sit in the medical shop. I was sitting there, but it was too boring for me. I mean, I was just making invoice, counting money, looking at the people, a whole day doing that.
Good, yeah.
So somewhere deep inside, I knew that I was not meant to do that job. So when you ask me about how the medical journey started,
Okay.
it started from that point.
Okay.
Even though at that point I didn't realize that my journey would be and my life would be in the medical field, that is when I realized, that is when I was sitting in the shop, but I was cribbing. I was like, Dad, I don't like this, I don't like that. And, before that I was into advertising.
Got you.
I was with a company called McCann Erickson. They're one of the big companies in the world. So I used to design Britannia biscuit packet and do all communications across 11 to 12 languages in India. Then I did an ad with Dhoni, TV Star City. Style may hit, dam may be fit. So that was during my time,
Okay.
back in 2008.
Okay.
And Titan I Plus. So I was the project manager for these three big brands.
Wow.
And the work was very tough. Advertising work is not easy. So I used to work till late night, 12, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, go home, come back. And my salary was very limited. So my dad was like, you're spending half your salary and then you're asking money from me. So why are you working there? Why don't you join me? I'll pay you more.
Got you.
That time I was not interested because working with dad is always difficult at some point because he's your dad. And things took a very different turn. Then all my friends, they come from very big backgrounds and they went abroad to study. So even I had this dream of going abroad, seeing the world, studying. I even studied French when I was in school.
Okay.
And I had big ambitions. Okay, if I make it big, I'll go somewhere, read something, do something. So at that time, my father could not fund my education. So I requested him if he can just help me get a bank loan. Let me go out, I'll do my master's and then come back. So coming to the education background, I've done my BBA and MBA. And then I got into advertising. I worked there for a year and a few months. And then I took a few months break where I was trying to figure out what I need to do next, whether I need to continue advertising, join my dad or start something on my own. I have no funds, how will I do? So there was a lot of, everybody goes through this phase in life where you're absolutely confused and you don't know what to do, but you want to do a lot of things, you're very ambitious and things like that. And so at that point, a couple of my friends suggested, why don't you go abroad? So that was stuck in my mind, because they went to places like Manchester, Lancaster, US, studied well, came back, started their father's business, they took it to the next level. So I wanted to go abroad just to see how things are, how the education system there is, and explore life, meet different cultures, meet different people, So that's how my dad was kind enough to help me get a bank loan. And I went abroad. So I went to this place called Grenoble.
Okay.
It's a student city in France. It's called Grenoble Graduate School of Business, GGSB.
Okay.
It has got triple accreditation, beautiful college. It was in the foothills of Alps. So it's the flattest city. You can skate from one end of the city to the other end and surrounded by Alps.
Wow.
Very beautiful place. And the college was excellent as well. The course was, of course, taught in English. And in my class, we had close to 35 people with 27 different nationalities.
Oh.
So you can imagine the kind of exposure you got there, different cultures, different people, different food, and how everybody gets together. And the class was brilliant. And I've seen some of the most brilliant minds there.
Okay.
So that's how I could also get to learn a lot. And then, I wanted to work abroad, stay there, work for some time. At that point, looking at the culture there, you get also carried away.
Correct.
And then I thought, okay, I want to settle here. I want to live the life that these guys, Europeans are living. 5 days a week working, 2 days you relax, you travel, beautiful places, everything so systematic, clean, nice.
Yeah.
And then I was applying for interviews, of course. So staying there was very expensive. I could not afford. So I got an offer from Decathlon. Which I refused because the package was very low and I had to come back to India.
Got you.
Where I had plans of settling abroad.
Right.
And I could not stay there because it was too expensive. So I came back to India and I was applying for jobs. And I got selected in Mini Cooper, Austria, Salzburg for marketing because I had advertising background. So on Friday, they sent a mail, congratulations Suhas, you've been selected for this particular role and we'll send you the further details on Monday afternoon. Good luck and all that. I was so excited. I called all my friends. We partied Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday I'm eagerly waiting for my mail from the company. And then Monday I get this bomb saying that, dear Suhas, we regret to inform you that we've selected a German guy over you due to language preferences. And I was like, what kind of ridiculous excuse was that?
Exactly.
You could have just said you're not selected first time. I've been rejected by many companies, no problem.
Correct.
The thing, when they said you're selected and then they reject you, that hurts.
True, I agree.
So that really, hurt me and then it took a very different turn. And then after a few days, I mean, I was just cribbing at home, just sulking and, very depressed at that point of time. At that moment, I realized that there's no point going to another country and being a second-hand citizen,
Correct.
wherein you can be in your own country and then try to live like a king if you have to, if you want to.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is when again, I was in that phase of confusion where I didn't know what to do. This is what I was wanting to do. That got outrightly rejected on my face. What do I do next? So then one of my dad's friend, he owns one of the biggest medical bookstores in Bangalore, Prithvi Bookstore,
Okay.
Mr. Suresh, amazing guy. So he suggested that medical field is an ocean
Okay.
and it's always evolving. There's always new things coming. There's always new things to learn. Like I said, it's an ocean.
Right.
So then he suggested, why don't you? My dad was having a medical shop, but I was not interested to sit in the shop because there was nothing much for me to do. I was like a typical marketing guy. I'd like to travel, meet people, new ideas, new concepts. So at that point, my dad said, why don't you work in a surgical shop?
Got you.
So 15 years ago, I didn't even know what a nebulizer was, what a BP monitor was, what a artery forceps is. Surgical instruments, what they use in hospitals and surgeries and all that. So yeah, I went to Hyderabad. I worked as a store boy. After doing my BBA, MBA and MSc, I worked as a store boy
Oh.
in that shop for 3 months. While at the beginning, I was thinking like, I've done my BBA, MSc, my friends are all abroad, living in fancy places, traveling to fancy places, working in different companies and all that. And that is the generation of Facebook, right? So everybody's posting something and then you're looking at all these things and then you feel
Got you.
you feel that, what are you doing with your life? And yeah, 3 months I worked as a store boy there, and there was this very senior person called Mr. Srinivas. He taught me everything, like how to use a scissor, how to use a nebulizer. He used to give demo to the customers who were coming to the shop. I used to sit and observe. So what I did was, it was a very old shop. I wouldn't say messy, but things were not very organized. Different boxes, different products. It's a very dusty area. So when I went there, I took out each and every boxes, I rearranged everything, put the stickers, asked him, sir, what do you use this for? How do you use this scissor instrument? Where do you use this? In what kind of surgeries? He taught me everything. Which scissor, which blade do you use to cut open the person? What do you use to split the muscle tissues and all that? So he taught me everything. So 3 months without taking a single day break, even on Sundays, morning 9 o'clock till evening 9 o'clock. I worked in that shop as a store boy. And at that point, my dad said work for 3 more months, but I could not live there because living condition was very horrible. I was staying in a very small hotel right in front of the shop, eating every day outside. It was very difficult. So then I came back to Bangalore. I said, I've learned what I need to know.
Okay.
Then my dad helped me set up another shop
Got you.
in City Market itself, Victoria Hospital main gate. So there is the whole surgical hub there. So there I set up a shop.
Okay.
So in that shop, I worked for like almost 3 to 4 years,
Okay.
all by myself. Of course, my dad helped me there. And that became a very good, fastest selling retail counter because a lot of people who came to my store, they always came back
Got you.
because of the kind of way, how I explain things to them and basically how you sell a product. So when people come, they would like to understand a particular medical device because it's a medical device. When you explain them very nice, they feel good about it.
Yeah.
So 4 years I worked there, but I always wanted to do something more. Like I said, I could not see myself sitting in a shop,
Got you.
right? But like you said, the entrepreneur journey started from my dad's push. When I was young, he always wanted me to be an entrepreneur, start something on your own. And then he got into the medical field. And then I did my master's, came back, worked in this shop, set up my shop. So that's how I got into the medical field. Never ever had I dreamt that I would come into the medical field, that too in this way. So that is where the whole thing started. And exactly 10 years back in 2015, I had this idea of importing and exporting. That's where my ideas lied. But I had no funds. All the ideas, what I studied in books, in MBA and MSc, they teach you about import, export, taxation, this and that. But what I learned in City Market while sitting in that shop is what no MBA or no MSc could teach you.
Yeah.
Because that is what a practical experience you get while talking to people, interacting with them. when people ask you questions, that's when you start learning,
Correct. Yeah.
right? So I think that is where I learned most of my, medical knowledge, what you say. So I used to talk to all these reps who come from different companies to sell product. So I used to ask them, where do you get the product from? Where do you store it? How many pieces comes in a container? Just for my knowledge. So while sitting in that shop for 4 years, even though I was cribbing, I was being very cynical about the fact that I've done my MBA, MSc, what am I doing in the City Market shop? Because City Market, it's not very clean and organized, it's
Right.
very dirty, right? So I was cribbing, but then I realized what City Market taught me in those 4 years. I don't think any MBA, BBA, MSc degree could teach you that, right? So I think that's where a lot of ideas were born. But again, at that time, funds were limited. I could not invest so much money in. I didn't have experience in terms of importing and exporting, even though I had heard about it from people. So that's where one of my very good friends from college, we did our BBA and MBA together. His name is Ankur Garg. He's my partner now.
Okay.
So one day we both sat and we were discussing, and his father, he used to be the purchase head of HCL India. And I've seen they're the second biggest manufacturers of printed circuit boards in India. So I've gone to his factory because he's a good friend. We used to work on college projects together. So I've gone to his factory, I've seen his father. They had close to 700 employees, and I could see how he controls all of them. So I always knew that he's somewhere there, and he has traveled. They've lived in US, they've lived in Kazakhstan, they've traveled, the world. So I know he has hands-on experience in terms of importing and exporting, which I did not have. Even though I studied in the books and all that, I did not have that experience of importing and exporting. So yeah, you've done your MBA, you've done your MSc. So I made this very fancy business plan saying that let's start importing wheelchairs and adult diapers.
Okay.
So yeah, I made the business plan, and I also gave them an exit plan. In terms of wheelchair and adult diapers, they did not have expiry, right? They're not like fruits or vegetables, which you have to sell immediately.
Yeah, not perishable.
Not
Yeah.
perishable. So I had a very good customer base for wheelchairs and adult diapers. So I said, worst case scenario, if the business fails, I can sell these products in my shop maybe in 6 months, 1 year, maybe 2 years. But I can sell from my shop.
Got it.
Because I had made that customer base there. So this is how the business idea came into life. And then Mr. Alok Garg, who's Ankur's father, he came and sat in my shop for 2 days and observed how things are done, what are the kind of products that's being sold. And imagine a person who's of that level coming to my small shop, coming and sitting there and trying to understand how things are done. And then he seemed interested. So then he came and met my father for the first time. He came home, and then we went to his house, and then my father saw them, what kind of people they are, their experience, their knowledge, their financial power. So then my dad said, this is one very good chance for us to grow together. And that's how Medequip Healthcare Solutions was born.
Okay, so that is how this idea came into the reality. And how was your initial struggle in terms of finance, technology, and getting the approvals or like regulations? This is one of the highly regulated market, healthcare. So
Right.
how you managed all those? How you had overcome many challenges?
Interesting question. So, like I said, we started with a few products like wheelchairs and adult diapers and all that. So initially the struggle was, you can't just have 2 products. You have to give customer a choice.
Yeah.
What different kinds of wheelchairs, different range of wheelchairs used for different purposes. One is a simple basic wheelchair. One is another wheelchair with commode in it. One is a reclining wheelchair where the patients could sleep. So we had to maintain a wide range of products for which you needed a lot of funds. And at that point of time, we were importing from China. And if you have to compete with the Chinese market, then it's all about, it's a game of volumes. So you have to bring in like one full container of one particular model. Only then would you get a particular price, right? So in terms of, like I said, we didn't get like huge funds to invest. My dad had to borrow money from outside to help me set up this business. Whereas my partners, they were financially sound. They invested a good amount of money. And yeah, so the struggle was, how do we get these at this price? Because Indian market is very price sensitive. Customers need a good product at a reasonable price.
Correct. Yeah.
And India is a huge market in itself. The whole world is targeting India now. So when you were importing from China and selling it to India, it was a game of volumes. It was very difficult initially, but then somehow over the course of 6 months to 1 year, we did a lot of struggle, and that was the time when a new company is come into place, right? People have to trust you. People have to know what you are offering,
Correct.
the product, and if anything goes wrong, would you give them the after sale service? Because when it comes to medical field, it's not just sell and forget. You have to serve that the wheelchair or any medical device has to serve their purpose for a certain amount of time, or
Correct.
it could be for a long time.
Yeah.
If it doesn't serve the purpose, then there's no point in you selling those products, right? So we had to build that trust over time. So initial struggles were, yeah, sleepless nights, travel day in and day out. So that there have been times where I leave home on a Monday
Okay.
and come back after 14 days, come back the next Saturday.
Oh.
I used to work on Sundays also, because Sunday is when retail shop used to be free and you could go sit and talk to him for a while. You get that, window to talk to him, to convince him to trust you and your product,
Okay.
right? And typically what I've noticed here in South India is that you have to build trust. People have to trust you to trust your product. You could be selling a low quality product, but they know that you will be backing that product. So initially building the trust is a very, very, very important factor in,
True.
I think, in any business,
Correct. Correct.
and especially in medical field. I'm not blaming it on the North market or the Delhi market or the Bombay market, but there are several traders, right, who just want to sell and forget. For them, it's just about making money. Who cares if the machine works or not, if it's serving the patient or not? So they are pure traders. They want to sell and forget. So that's when I saw a huge gap where that could be filled by giving an after-sales service,
Okay.
right? And with medical device, if it's under a certain period of warranty, then you are bound to replace it or repair it or service it, whatever it is. So when I was sitting in the retail shop, when I was dealing with a very well-established brands, I wouldn't want to mention the brand names, but they are big brands.
Okay.
They are present worldwide, big brands. So I used to sell oxygen concentrators to the users who come and buy from my shop. And when something goes wrong with the device, initially the company comes and says, oh yeah, we'll give this kind of service, we'll do anything we want. But once you sell the device, once there is an issue, that's when you realize, they asked, why don't you send the machine to the service center, which is in Hyderabad? The oxygen machine is a life-saving medical device. If a person is using oxygen, they are continuously using oxygen for a long time. So how can you cut off your oxygen supply, take the machine, send it to Hyderabad, wait for a few days, and you don't know when the machine is going to come? So I saw a huge gap in that after-sales service segment.
Got you.
So when we started Medequip, we wanted to be that company who stood by our products. Let anything happen to the product, we'll either repair the product or replace the product. So that is what we used to build that trust in all our dealer segment. So like you're talking about initial struggles, right? So the struggles are to build the trust. Financial struggles, wherein you have to invest a lot to bring in a lot of range of products. It is heavy investment, right? And without the range of products, you're not able to sell, because it's like going to a vegetable store where you only have two options. One is to buy an onion and one is to buy a potato. So would you go to that shop? No. You would go to a vegetable shop where you have a lot of options.
Correct.
Carrot, tomato, beetroot, where you get everything, right? So you had to be that particular segment where you had the entire range of products.
Got you.
So that struggle initially was we could not afford that much. So it took us one step at a time, slow and steady, to build that product portfolio, bring in that range of products from China. So financial struggles is covered there. So your other question was challenges in terms of technology and in terms of licensing. And so challenges in terms of technology was a lot of devices that were sold in India were kind of outdated at that point.
Okay.
It was just, oxygen machine is like basic machine. It generates the atmosphere, it converts the atmospheric air and concentrates it into pure 93-94% pure oxygen, basic stuff. Even big companies worldwide, they were just selling basic stuff. So my partner, Ankur Garg, he is a very technical guy. Even his father, they were manufacturing PCB boards. So both of them are very technical guys. So they always wanted to add more features into this.
Okay.
And that's how we added more features like an inbuilt nebulizer and purity sensor. Like a patient is using an oxygen, you're just getting plain air through your nasal prongs. How do you know it's just the air or it's a pure oxygen getting into your body? So we put that purity meter on the machine, right? So like these kind of small technical add-ons is what we did. And that's how a lot of devices were designed for us in a very particular way. And at that point, we were the first ones to launch these kind of products in India,
Wow.
right? So we had a great team, and everybody is very dedicated to our business, our products, and most importantly, to try to help people and ease their pain or ease their make user-friendly products and very simple to use devices. So that was technically challenging because it's not easy for you to go to a company, make them manufacture according to your ideas, right? Because a lot of things depends on different kind of molds. It's a huge investment. So if you at that point of time, Indian manufacturing segment was not prepared to devise these kind of products. 99%, I could say, or in this oxygen concentrator and the respiratory segment, 99% of the products were imported from China.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's very difficult for you to go talk to Chinese, make them understand your requirement,
Okay.
get things done according to your needs, according to your market. And again, it's all volumes. I can't go to a Chinese company and tell them I'll buy 100 machines for you, you do this for me.
Correct.
So they tell you, can you give us targets of 1,000 machines every month? Like, it's impossible, right? I don't even know the market. We are just starting. We are new. It's a new baby, and but yet again, it took a long time, maybe a year or so, or a year and a half, 2 years, for us to try to capture the market, build trust, and try to improve, put all these technology into the device, which was very difficult. So that took a long time, and luckily we have our principals in China who are supportive
Okay.
in terms of taking our suggestions and then adding that into the machine and then making a nice, big, beautiful device. And another technical challenge what we faced was there was this one company that we were dealing with. The first few batches of the quality was extremely good.
Okay.
Right, the machine was nearly close to perfect. But then after that, without us realizing, they started compromising on the quality in terms of they wanted to save money.
Oh.
So they started compromising on the quality of the inner parts, which we can't notice. Right? So we are getting the machines from China, we are doing a QC, we are selling it.
Got
We don't really open every single device, see everything is inside perfectly or not. And over the course of 3 to 5 to 6 months, so many complaints in one shot. And then it's a life-saving medical device. You can't just sit back and then not do anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And at that point, we lost a lot of money in terms of providing after-sale service. We had to remove brand new machines, replace the parts from here because they did not give us the needed spare parts, which was required for servicing. And then our market was slowly picking up. We had built a good momentum. And then, suddenly it backfired.
Okay.
And then, whatever we built over 2-3 years, everything just went into drain. It was near close to, we had to shut shop. But then, like I said, we had very good backing, support from our father and my partners. So they went all out in terms of sourcing these products, spare parts, directly from different suppliers in China.
Okay.
So they went to China, they hired a local translator, traveled with them, tried to source these products. They struggled a lot. And we lost a lot of money because we had to pay that from our pockets.
Oh.
And then bring those spare parts and then supply it to the patients here. Because we've sold so many machines and complaints are coming back to back every day in different parts of India. And you can't send a service person to every parts of India, right?
Correct.
Even then we did that. We hired a few biomedical engineers, we trained them what in terms of this issues, what needs to be done, how do you do this, what are the challenges, video call with the customer, because people have bought this machine and they've traveled to rural areas where transport is also limited and where we had to spend a lot of money and sending him to that place and then he has to stay in a hotel, come back. We lost a lot of money over course of time. But at that time, we realized that later. because we gave this after sales service, that also added to the trust factor that no matter what happens, Medequip and Oxymed, they will stand by their machine. They will support. They will not give up. Many companies, they've just said, sorry, we can't help it.
Yeah.
And those patients have come to our machine now, right? So building that trust factor is a very important factor, like I said before. And technical challenges what we faced, losing a lot of money, but we never gave up. We had to borrow money, we had to pledge our house, get loan from the bank. I mean, it was a very difficult phase, but we didn't give up. So I almost did give up, because at that point it was like, I could not see, we hit the dead end. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. And luckily my father and my partners, they're all support, gave us the strength to move forward and do something which is right. Which we see now how that helped in terms of building that brand name and establishing a brand called Oxymed. And currently we are number one in India in terms of the respiratory segment. We beat big brands like, I shouldn't mention the names, like Philips and BPL, it's okay. We beat them over the course of 10 years.
Wow.
And so we are number one in India now in the oxygen concentrator segment.
Good
And
to
soon
hear.
we'll have to explore other options as well. Next, you were talking about licensing and regulatory challenges.
Yeah.
Yes, like you rightly mentioned, it is a highly regulated segment, because you're dealing with medical devices.
Correct.
You're dealing with people's lives.
Correct.
You can't play around. So the government has taken very drastic changes over the past 5-6 years in terms of setting up systems and creating new departments like CDSCO, and also regulating the drug control department, categorizing a lot of different products in different segments, and then registering these products under the government. It's a very difficult and cumbersome process. You have to find the right consultants, because the documentation process is it's so vast that a layman like me cannot sit and do the whole documentation myself. So we had to get some consultants who were retired officers from the department. We were lucky to find that contacts. So they really helped us in terms of the document, what kind of documentation process to be done, what are the ways to approach the department, how to get things done. So we got a good guidance from the department people, so which we were very lucky to find such humble gentlemen to help us. So the document process is tough. I won't say it's easy, but it's not impossible. If you find the right source and the right people to help you support in terms of all these documentation, it can be done. And currently we have registered all our products and we are going well in a good way, which is the documentation process was set up by the government to eradicate all the low quality products, like the traders.
Got you.
Like good quality comes at a price, good quality product comes at a price. So when we are giving good products, there are competitive products which has nothing inside, but they're just cheap. And yes, there is a logic behind it. The rural areas, affordability is a very big issue. So they would generally go for a cheaper product without having enough knowledge of how long the machine works, when is it going to break down, what. They don't think. They don't have enough money to buy. So they buy for the cheaper, they go for the cheaper products. But the cheaper products don't last long. They don't give you the right delivery of medications or whatever it is. They don't do the right job because they're not using the right quality products. So we never compromised on the quality, right? And that's how we had to build trust. We faced the we faced the financial struggles. We faced the technical struggles. We faced the licensing struggles and the regulatory struggles. So we had to overcome all this to now be sort of stable. And again, we don't know what's coming next.
Correct.
So we have to be prepared. And when you build your base based on quality and systems and methods, when you put those systems in place, right, which any regulation, anything can come, we can always overcome that, which is what we have done over the past 4, 5, 6 years.
Okay, good to know. And as we are talking about brands and products, I would like to know more about your products, like how many products you have, how many brands you have under your organization, what are they, and the usage of the same.
Okay, so like I said, initially we started with wheelchairs and adult diapers. The focus was, I could see good volumes being sold there. I could see a lot more in other products, but we didn't have the financial support. So over the period of a few years, we expanded our portfolio. We expanded in respiratory segment, which is oxygen concentrators, CPAP and BiPAP. Those are the devices used for snoring and people who have difficulties breathing. And nebulizers. India is there is a lot of dust and there's a lot of pollution around. So a lot of people have asthma and breathing issues. So we set up nebulizers for that.
Okay.
And home care products like your BP monitors, where you can check your BP at home, fingertip pulse oximeters, and orthopedic range of products like your cervical collars, body belts and braces, kneecaps, all these things. And how many products exactly? Close to 100.
Wow.
Okay, out of which 75 to 80 products is of ortho. They have different SKUs like small, medium, large, XL, double XL, triple XL. So if you ask me exactly how many products, we have close to 285 to 290 products.
Great.
Different SKUs and these things. So the whole focus is the home healthcare segment is what we are focusing on.
Sure. Maybe for the benefit of the user, we can mention like 2-3 products links in the description below.
Well, Oxymed is an oxygen concentrator.
Yeah.
Oxymed is you said what brands do we have? We have 2 brands.
Yeah.
One is Oxymed. That covers the entire range of medical devices like your BP, nebulizer, oxygen concentrators, CPAP and BiPAP, the entire medical device segment. And MediMove.
Okay.
MediMove, keeping you on the move. Right?
Okay.
That covers the entire range of your mobility aids like your wheelchair, walking sticks, walkers, crutches, and your entire range of body belts and body braces. Like your people who have back pain, they wear LS belt, lumbosacral belt. People post-pregnancy, they wear abdominal binders, right? And people who have cervical issues, they wear a cervical collar. So these are the entire range of products we have. I mean, it's a wide range of products, yes.
Got you. Good to know about your products, brand. So you started with small organization and now you have grown up with multiple resources, right? How was that kind of experience, that leadership journey, and what you have learned? If you would like to call out one particular example or something, so that would be helpful.
It's very difficult to use one example for such a broad question. I mean, it's a very good question, of course. So, one thing I learned in this journey was leaders are supposed to lead by example, right? I wouldn't call myself a leader, but yes, I lead a big team, I do that, but I still work with them on the ground. So when your team sees you working day in and day out, right, they also are self-motivated, because when a director of a company is doing this, they are also bound to do it.
Correct.
So like I said, a leader leads by example. So when you handhold people and then show them how things are done, I'm not saying I'm an expert in the field, but 10 years have given me a lot of experience because I've been on the field every day in and day out. So I start my travel on a Monday, I come back on a Saturday evening. So my entire week is out traveling. I spend very little time at home with my daughter. I still have that guilt feeling that I don't get to spend much time with my daughter. But yeah, that's a sacrifice you make for building a company and building a brand, leading a team of 100 people. So it's a tough job. So leadership, I think it's like you said, one word, one example. You lead by example.
Okay. Yeah, good to know. Well, leading a team of 100 is not easy. How do you attract, retain, and enable the talents in your organization?
This takes a lot of time.
Okay.
And you learn by making mistakes. So we have gone through the phase of hiring people and then having to let them go because we could not hire the right team. So it's a practice. It's a repeat practice. It's a learning every day when you hire the right team. I mean, sometimes you meet the right people at the right time and then you get lucky. But most of the times it's very difficult because people from the industry who have prior experience, they tend to manipulate you for their packages, and just to get a higher package, they get an offer letter, show it to the competition brand and try to increase their salary there. So it's a challenge. Definitely it's a challenge. So more than how do we attract the right talent is you have to have a good working culture, right?
Correct.
and a very good motivating senior leader. So we have segregated in our team into frontliners, people who are going and meeting doctors, pharmacists on a daily basis. So they report to a senior area sales manager, and the area sales manager reports to a regional manager. The regional manager reports to a zonal manager. Zonal manager reports to a national sales manager.
Wow.
So we've set that hierarchy. So at each level, the message has to be passed down properly. So the entire team has to be speaking the same language. So that only comes when you have a good working culture and a right senior manager. So you said, how do you find the right manager? You don't find the right manager. You find a right person and then train him to be the right manager.
Got you.
Right? So it's a constant thing of training them, making them understand. Many training sessions are required. So we bring the entire team together in Bangalore, our head office, which is in Doddaballapur. So we have a big training room where it can accommodate close to 100 people, right? So in that training room, we hire very senior. We also have an orthopedic doctor on board who is in our team. So he's the one who goes and trains these people on a regular basis.
Okay.
And we have a very senior respiratory therapist who was one of the first guys who launched CPAP and BiPAP in India.
Oh, okay.
So we have taken Mr. Pradeep Kumar on board. So he trains the team in terms of respiratory, and we have the orthopedic doctor who trains the team in terms of orthopedic related products, soft goods. So like you said, hiring the right team, it's a very difficult job, but you hire the right person and you build that team and you make the right team and make it a nice working culture so that you retain the team.
Got you.
Because now there is a lot of competition across all segments. It's very difficult to retain the team. When you have a very good team, competitors are always watching, how can I poach this guy from this company, right? So how do you not let your team go there? By creating that good working culture.
Right.
By also offering them incentives, because everybody's working hard. It's not an easy job, you know. Life is difficult. So when a company uses their down the line people just for the sales and then not remunerate them, obviously they're bound to leave.
Correct.
The competition will take you because everybody's watching everyone and everybody's on the field, because our job requires intense marketing on a daily basis, right? There are hundreds and thousands of medical reps. Like for example, if you are a doctor, you meet at least 120 to 150 medical reps on a monthly basis. How many faces would you remember? If I go and if I show my face, why would he remember my face? So to remember my face, to remember what products I deal with, a doctor takes at least 5 to 6 visits. I have to constantly go meet him. Every Monday, 10 o'clock, I have to be there so that he knows 10 o'clock this guy is coming. So when a person is dedicated his life for a company, when he's working so hard, you have to remunerate them. Salary is just one part to take care of your monthly expenses. But there also comes additional incentives based on you achieve your targets. So we also set our targets not so high that you don't achieve at all. We set our targets in a very realistic, we set our targets in a realistic figure so that every marketing guy can achieve it and he can get his incentives and bonuses. You achieve more, you get more. So the smarter and harder you work, the more incentives and commission you get to make. So we've set up those systems in place so that we can retain our team. And like I said, we ourselves go on to the field, work with them, build that strong network and the trust factor and a relationship. Everything works in a relationship, right? So when you trust me, I trust you.
Correct.
So we become one. So we try to maintain our team as one big family. Constant. Once in a while, we have this get-togethers where we bring the entire team together. We have various games, training sessions, and team bonding games and activities. So we do that. A lot of companies they do that.
Yeah.
So we do that, and that's how we try to retain our team.
Got you.
Otherwise, in this highly competitive world, it's very difficult to build a team, first of all.
Correct.
Second is how to retain a team.
Correct.
It's very challenging.
Yeah. Got you. As we are discussing about the internal structure and the stakeholders, right? So how do you collaborate with doctors, hospitals and the medical shops or other vendors in terms of creating awareness and the right use of the products?
This goes back to my first point that I mentioned in this conversation, trust. When a doctor has to recommend your product, the doctor has to trust your product. And if a doctor has to trust your product, then the product has to speak for itself.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to make sure that your product quality is good, and if the quality can speak for itself, then it's easy for you to convince a doctor. So, for example, I'm a doctor, you're a patient, you come to me for help, and when I give you when I prescribe or suggest a machine or a device or a medicine that you have to use, I have to be convinced that this medicine will work on you or this device will work on you.
Okay.
Right? And if I prescribe something, for example, I write a brand name of a machine, and then the machine, you take the machine, you go home, and then the machine is completely horrible. It doesn't work according to your expectations. It's not helping you in any way. So you will come back to me, doctor, you will create a scene. You will be like, doctor, what have you suggested?
Yeah.
So the doctor would not want that.
Correct.
Right? The doctor wants to give a product that works, and once the patient comes to me and takes his machine and go, that has to help you, that has to, heal you. So we do a lot of training programs like CME, continuous medical education programs, where we bring together a group of doctors, and we have, like I said, we have experts in the respiratory and the orthopedic field. So we go along with them. Like I also go with them. We go together, and then we have a product demonstration, product training, how to use the product, what are the do's and don'ts, and how we take care of the product in terms of the after sales service, what we do, build that trust. If a doctor doesn't trust you or your product, it's difficult for him to prescribe that.
Right.
So it's a very challenging and a very difficult job, because first of all, it's not easy to get doctors together on time because everybody's running on tight schedule.
Okay.
And so we do a lot of meticulous planning, going and meeting them on a regular basis, trying to bring them together and have a KOL, key opinion leader, to come and talk about that subject, right? And how our machine or our devices helps you heal that particular subject. So everyone can correlate. And it also leaves a lasting impact on people's mind. So, like I said, CME is a continuous medical education. So it's a continuous ongoing process. So we do that in almost every state, every doctors, with every senior doctors, so that when the senior doctor speaks, the junior doctor listens. So we do that structured training programs, and that's how we try to build trust in doctors and the juniors down the line.
Got you. Well, during COVID, so we have seen major shift in the medical industry. How was your experience, and was it like boon or bane for your organization? Did you observe any user behavior?
Well, that's a long story, and COVID came as a boon and as a bane. So let me talk about what happened during COVID, right? So everybody knows during COVID it was a very life-threatening situation, and the first wave you saw people further, people far away die. Second wave, it came close to you. Your near ones, your dear ones, your family, your cousin members were dying. So at that time, things were pretty challenging, and like you said, like I mentioned earlier, we had built that brand reputation, Oxymed, right? So people knew that what product we are giving is actually being used to help the needy. During COVID, what happened? All the other industries shut, right? So people from other industries like real estate, gold business, people who had a lot of financial backbone, they got into this segment. They started using their money power, importing medical devices from China and then selling it here.
Okay.
So a lot of mismanaged happened during that time because people did not know what kind of device they are selling. A COVID patient would need a higher flow with a higher concentrate, right? So there are several machines which you use in a beauty parlor where you oxygenate your, where you mix oxygen with your facials and all that. So those devices are made only for that particular purpose, but not for a COVID patient. So what happens is, at 1 liter, the oxygen purity is at 90%. You go 2, it drops to 70. You go to 3 liters, it drops to 50. You go to 4 liters, it drops to. So the higher you go, the lower the purity drops to. But a medical grade oxygen concentrator has to give you 93 plus or minus 3% at 5 LPM. If it's a 5-liter machine, it's at 5 LPM, liters per minute. If it's a 10-liter machine, it's at 10 LPM. Even at 10 LPM, the purity should not go less than 93%. So whereas these devices, when you crank up the LPM, the purity drops. So a lot of people have died like that as well. And COVID came as a boon, yes, because we were able to sell a lot of devices at that time. And one very good thing what we as human beings could contribute at that time, to be honest, every business is here to make money.
Yeah.
At that time, I decided, okay, this is the time to make money. Let's increase the machine price by 4,000 to 5,000. People were ready to buy. People are buying the machine from us at 30 to 45,000 and selling it in the market at 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh. Okay, so then I thought, why don't we increase the price by 5,000? It's not huge. If a machine is costing 30, 35,000, just increase the price by 5,000. So that is when my dad stepped in and he said, this is the time to make a name.
Okay.
Try to be ethical. Don't, like how a dad gives a son a guidance. So he told me this is the time to make a name, not money. And people are dying.
Yeah.
So as a human being to live with your conscience. So you give it to the people at the right price. And we did that. We did not increase the price. I think at that point, we were the only company to maintain that pricing structure. The price at what we used to sell before COVID. The same margins we kept and we sold during COVID.
Okay.
But there was a situation where we could not wait for the containers to come by ship. We had to import it by air. So at that time, within 4 hours, the price of one box went up by 3,000 to 12,000 rupees. So we naturally had to add that cost on the product. So we did that. We did very ethical business during COVID. So that gave us the brand name again. Our dealers are saying, sir, why don't you increase the price? Everybody's doing it. Why are you not increasing the price? We are making money. You also should make money. But we did not.
Yeah.
We were happy with the margins that we were getting.
And would like to take one moment to clap for this step. So I hope this had many.
Thank you. Thank you. So that came as a boon and we did sell huge numbers. And the reason why we are number one in the oxygen concentrator segment today in India is because of that. COVID came as a boon.
Okay.
And it came as a bane, like I said, why? A lot of people who are not in the industry, who have a lot of money, they invested in this business. So they may not last long, but they disturb our market for a while.
Okay.
Because like I said, India market is very price sensitive. People prefer low price products without realizing that they're compromising on the quality. So a lot of machines have come in the market, a lot of machines have been sold, and a lot of machines are stuck there with the patients because they're not getting after sales service. Why? Because people just they invested the money, they got the machines, imported the machines from China, they sold the machines, they washed their hands off. So now people are calling the customer care, nobody answers. They're calling the dealers, they're going to the dealers where they bought the machine from. Sir, I need service for the machine. The dealer is saying the company is shut. And then again, after that, they come back to brands like Oxymed, where we have built a trust over years, where we give after-sales service, and we are the only company in India that gives doorstep service.
Oh.
Maybe not 100% because of the geography and the reach and all that. Wherever we can, within 24 to 48 hours, we give doorstep service. And if we cannot repair the machine there, we replace the machine with a standby machine.
Wow, great.
So because it's a life-saving medical device, so you have to have that kind of a customer care. And maybe, like I said, this built trust over the years, and now people trust Oxymed as a brand name, and that is why we are growing really fast in India right now.
Wow, good to know. So as we are touching upon the COVID and Oxymed growth, everything. So what is your strategy to penetrate Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities and also the villages where the need is huge but the resources are limited?
I have mentioned a bit about this in a different subject earlier, which is continuous medical education, right? So in rural areas, the awareness is very limited, right? The reach is very limited. Every company focuses on Tier 1 cities, metro cities, where they get business fast and immediately. Business fast and they can grow very soon. So we also did that initially. And at one stage of time, we realized that a lot of people from the rural areas are coming into cities, buying our devices and going back to their places. right? So what we have done is training programs. So we have appointed a few dealers or distributors in remotest of places. Where it might not be a big surgical shop or a medical shop, but he has a small shop with a small setup. But he has the good knowledge and the drive to improve his business. So we have tied up with such people, called them to Bangalore head office, or we have several offices across India. So we call them to those offices, we train them, right? We train them what are the first step. If this happens, what do you do? If this happens, what do you do? So we give that training modules to all this team in their local language, so that they can keep that sheet and they can always use that for reference. It's not necessary that he may pick up everything in one shot in a 2 or 3 day training. So we have created those training modules and we've given it to those persons and we've tied up with them. So every machine he services or repairs, we pay him certain amount of money. So that is an additional income for him. And the patient who's there in the rural area does not suffer by carrying the machine coming all the way or our person going all the way there. That is an additional cost. So these are small strategies that we have implemented where firstly you spoke about awareness. So we train the doctors, we train the dealers, pharmacies, retail counters. We give our product catalog so that they know what products we are dealing with. And when there is a requirement, they get in touch with us directly.
Okay.
And we connect to the local distributor or supplier there because we don't sell directly to them. We always support our distributors and our partners, right? Because they are the backbone of our company. They have helped us establish our company and made us who we are right now. So any lead that comes to us, for example, if you're in Mysore, you call me to sell you a product directly, we connect you to our local dealer there in Mysore. So you can go collect it from them. So this is how we build our networking in tier 2, tier 3 cities, training modules, product knowledge, product availability, and systems in place.
Got you. Well, if you have any plan to expand beyond Indian market, which market interests you more and why?
We have already started exporting to 15 different countries now. So these are countries like it could be Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Croatia, Tanzania,
Okay.
and we have a good partners there. Like you rightly mentioned, we are looking at export market, and which market interests us the most is the US market and the European market. Why? Because there is a lot of stringent laws in place and quality processes in place and certifications in place. It is not very easy for you to get a CE certification. It is not very easy for you to get an FDA certification. And there are many approvals, which takes a long time,
Okay.
right? So right now, we are unable to penetrate into the European and the American market. Why? Because our manufacturing setup and the process is only a year and a half old. So it's not easy to manufacture so many range of products. So initially we faced a lot of challenges in terms of setting up the quality right? And we lost a lot of money there also because we didn't get the right quality after buying a lot of raw materials in bulk and not able to use that. So we had to discard them. Because once you sell a bad product in the market, once your reputation gets ruined, it's very difficult for you to rebuild that trust in the market. So we did not let that go in the market, we scrapped. So now we have set up very stringent policies in our production unit, wherein every incoming products are being tested and then it goes into the production line. So we are building that quality process over due course of time, and currently we have applied for a European CE certification, and that is a long process. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes minimum of 6 months to 1 year for us to get the certification. So right now that is the challenge we are facing, and that is the market that excites us the most because it's challenging, right? So we are trying to build that quality product to start exporting to European countries and soon to the American country.
Yeah. As you got a chance to work with different market, how do you think the Indian market is different than any other market in the world? What difference you would like to call out?
See, I'm not trying to compare India with China, but I have traveled a lot in China and I've seen the entire ecosystem of how the industries are set up. Like for instance, if you go to Shenzhen, that's a hub for all your electrical goods and your, very highly technical products. If you go to Foshan, it's for like your furniture, your wheelchairs and everything. And if you go further up north, every place has its own specialty. So what the Chinese have done is they've built an entire ecosystem around it.
Okay.
For example, if you manufacture furniture, you need wheels, you need foam, you need fabrics, you need leather, you need plastic components, you need metal screws and components and everything. So what they have done is, Foshan is a city. Here is the main manufacturing unit. So all these small parts, components, they are all right next to each other. Right? So initially when we set up our manufacturing process in India, we face the difficulties of, we manufacture wheelchairs, the rubber comes from north, plastic components come from north, and steel pipes, they come from north. So everything we are getting from north, like places like Delhi, Haryana, other places, we get all those from north to Bangalore. We manufacture the wheelchairs here, and then we ship it back to them. So we were losing a lot of money on transportation.
Got you.
One full truckload costs you 85 to 90,000 rupees from Delhi to Bangalore.
This would increase your manufacturing
Cost, naturally. So we could not sustain that for a long time. So we shifted our factory from Bangalore to Jaipur.
Got you.
At Jaipur, we got a very good space of land for a very economical price. So we shifted our plant there, and then we started producing there. And then later we realized we could get a much better price in Rajkot.
Okay.
So we shifted our factory from Jaipur to Rajkot.
Okay.
So that is the whole challenge of manufacturing in India, because you don't have the entire ecosystem set up. Right now, yes, the government has given a lot of grants and policies, and they are pushing Indians towards manufacturing here. And they are also putting a lot of high custom duty on ready goods from China, which is helping the Indian manufacturers to start thinking of production. Right? So I think the government has taken the right action in terms of promoting the Indian domestic market and supporting them for manufacturing, which China already has. You know, there is a very funny saying that God made Earth, and then the rest was made in China.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So Chinese, they have the economies of scale. They make for the world, right? So I'm not trying to be anti-national or anything, but we are at least 15 to 20 years behind China in terms of setting up that infrastructure.
Okay.
And which is very crucial for any manufacturing setup, that you have your entire ecosystem in that place. So right now, government has granted those special economic zones where, you know, you've been given a grant for setting up this manufacturing unit in Visakhapatnam, different places and all that. So I think more of that is required for us to improve our scalability in terms of manufacturing.
Any one suggestion which would really help our healthcare segment, if they take one steps or the action from the government that might help our manufacturers?
See, government is trying their best to support the production unit here, but at the end of the day, it depends on who's taking that initiative to start something. You know, we have to set up a lot of these R&D centers.
Okay.
Instead of just copying what is existing in the market and then, you know, copying and imitating them. A lot of money and infrastructure have to be built around R&D, continuous R&D. R&D is the backbone of any manufacturing unit or any healthcare device, because it's a very highly technical product. You're playing with people's lives. R&D team has to have the right backing and the right support, and you have to build the right team so that you have a very good end product, which I have seen in China. They are, in terms of, they spend a huge amount of money in their R&D, and a big chunk of their profits are split into the R&D team, and they're constantly renovating the product, constantly adding something, you know. I think which is what we have to realize, and we have to start implementing in our systems.
Yeah, and do you also think we are still a consumer country than the producing country?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Look at the import and the export data, that says for it all.
And how do you see Indian healthcare sector evolving in next 5 to 10 years, and what interests you the most?
Interesting question. What we have seen in the recent post-COVID is that things are moving from hospital-centric towards home-integrated systems.
Okay.
Like for instance, imagine a remote in a remote village in UP. It's a difficult thing to imagine that a patient can be monitored from his oxygen saturation levels, or his non-invasive ventilators can be monitored from a doctor in Kanpur or Lucknow or any of the cities. So currently what actions we have taken is, we have integrated cloud-based and AI into our devices.
Okay.
Like for instance, for an example, like somebody in your family is living in the remote village. They have access to nothing. If they need an oxygen, they have to go to the primary health center, which is really far, or they have to come to a decent hospital, which is not in every village, right? And that is how you see the hospital industry is booming. A lot of new hospitals are coming up. Big groups are taking over all the small hospitals, like name it Apollo, Max Group, Manipal. They're all taking over all the small hospitals and trying to build that medical infrastructure even in the rural areas. So what excites me the most is that things like cloud monitoring. Like I said, someone is in the village and they're using a non-invasive ventilator, and they're not in a situation to move and come to a doctor who's in the city, show them, consult, and then go back. So what this cloud-based platform enables you to is to monitor the patient's conditions here, sitting you have a big screen, and for example, the patient, you get into touch with the doctor, and then the doctor can go log into the patient ID details, get into the system, and then monitor the patient's vitals, like whether the pressure of the device is being used at the optimal range, whether this pressure is helping the patient heal, come out of that situation, and also monitor your vitals, like things like telemedicine. All these things are booming, which is very interesting. I mean, 5 to 10 years ago, I could never imagine something like this could happen. But post-COVID, things have moved drastically towards preventive than curing. So what excites me the most is we are moving from reactive care to proactive, predictive, personalized care therapy at home.
Okay.
So which is challenging as well as very interesting. So yeah, this is where the healthcare is moving towards, is what I feel. Things are slowly moving towards that. For instance, if we have to set up a manufacturing unit, initial investment cost is very huge in terms of making the dyes, molds, trying to source the components. The investment is huge. So what we are trying to do right now is backward integration. So we're getting few components we're importing a few components, and some of the components which can be made here, like your plastic components, it could be a silicone tube, it could be a gel pad, foams, and copper wirings, and small plastic components, which we are doing backward integration in terms of producing this, sourcing this local manufacturer, giving him the particular specification and the kind of quality that we need, writing off on a strong agreement between the suppliers so that the quality is not compromised. So things are happening, but slowly and steadily. And like I said, the ecosystem is what you need to build all the components in a very similar manner. Like, I'll talk about oxygen concentrator. It has more than 300 components inside.
Okay.
And for a manufacturer like me, it's impossible for me to make all the 300 components immediately right now in India and then start the business. It's impossible. So initially what you have to do is import a few components, manufacture a few components here, support them, integrate them together, and try to indigenize all the products by making them in India slowly over the due course of time. So which is what a lot of manufacturers are doing right now. And I think over the next few years, once the entire infrastructure and the ecosystem is set in place, it's going to help a lot of manufacturers to set up their production unit and maybe their R&D unit to start producing volumes and masses and at an affordable cost in India.
And India is becoming a medical tourism destination. What is your opinion on that?
To be honest, I've traveled in every state. I've traveled almost every state in India for my marketing job, set up offices in different places. One thing I've noticed is medical tourism is really booming. There are multiple reasons why.
Okay.
The healthcare infrastructure in many countries, let's talk about Middle East, wherein if you have to get a surgery done, you have to go register with the Ministry of Health and then wait for a long period of time, right? And some people have so much pain that they can't wait for so long. And similarly, in many other countries also, they have, since medical, in developed countries, they have medical insurance. So everything is covered. and the cost, the level of the treatment is not at the optimal stage, is what a lot of people complain. And again, there is a lot of waiting period. So what I have noticed in Kerala is medical tourism is booming. A lot of people from the Middle East who have a lot of money. So in Kerala, there are a lot of these hospitals which have tied up with many of these medical tourism representatives in the Middle East.
Okay.
So there, what they do is they do a lot of ground level work in terms of trying to find out people who have ailments and who have the affordability to get their treatment done at the earliest.
Okay.
So they refer their patients from the Middle East and they come to Kerala.
Okay.
Right? Kerala health infrastructure is amazing. One of the best in India is what I feel.
Okay.
Right? So in terms of number of medical colleges, in terms of the quality of the medical treatment in Kerala, it's, I think, one of the best in India. So medical tourism is on boom in Kerala, and they have set up, like I said, the entire ecosystem, right from bringing the patients from the Middle East, coming here, arranging the stay for them,
Okay.
connecting them to the right doctor, getting their treatment done, and post-surgery care will be provided there in the Middle East in their homes. So home health care is booming in that segment, and medical tourism, like I said, Kerala is one of the best places where I have noticed tremendous amount of Middle Eastern people coming there, and you won't believe many restaurants have been opened only to cater to these kind of people, because there is a lot of people coming from Oman. So there's an Omani restaurant open very close to the hospitals. People are coming from different countries, so you see a wide range of hotels that have popped up in Kerala just to cater to these people who are coming from abroad. So medical tourism is a huge business, and India, in terms of, if you look at the healthcare infrastructure, the nurses, majority are from Kerala. You go to Middle East, America, US, the nurses are from Kerala. And the treatment, they look after the patients really well. So another point I would like to bring about in the medical tourism industry is we have a good number of trained doctors, knowledgeable doctors.
Yeah.
Because Indian population, when you grow out of a college, they'll ask you whether you're an engineer or a doctor.
Yeah.
Right? So we have a good number of doctors in India, and there is not much waiting time. Like I said, abroad you have to wait for a certain amount of time. There is not much of a waiting time here, and the cost of the treatment is comparatively cheaper than other countries, and the quality of treatment what you get in India is much better than any other countries. So that's why I think India is ranked top 5 in the whole medical tourism industry, and it's growing at a very high pace.
Yeah, good to know. So we might see it will be one of the top destination very soon.
It is,
Yeah.
and we see it growing also at a very fast pace.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, so one of the important and hot topic in the medical industry nowadays is sustainability. How you are considering sustainability factor while manufacturing your devices?
Very good question. So sustainable can be split into 3 parts. One is your environmental, one is your operational, and one is your societal. So I think environmental and operation, I will club it here. So one thing what we are looking from within the organization is where we are producing high quality products at an affordable price, which can be reused. Right? When you produce low quality products, what happens? You buy, you discard. You buy, you discard. So that is creating a lot of environmental damage. Right? Most of the components are made out of plastic. Right? And so we are trying to reduce that by giving high quality products and also supporting the local MSMEs so that your import based carbon emissions are reduced. You're sourcing things locally, you're producing locally, and then you're shipping it out. Right? Another thing, what we at Oxymed have implemented is we have this buyback scheme, right? Buyback scheme in such a way that oxygen, every machine, every device has a shelf life. And in an oxygen concentrator, the life of the concentrator is defined by the molecular sieve bed which is inside, which is called a zeolite particle.
Okay.
So they only last for a certain amount of time. Name it 50. If you use very good quality, it will last for 15,000 hours to 17,000 hours. If you're using low quality with a mixture of something else, then it will last for 10 to 15,000. So we give them high quality zeolite product which lasts for 15 to 17,000. And there are many other low cost Chinese products that have been dumped in the Indian market. So what we do is, because we don't know how the recycling happens, people just take it and discard it somewhere, and it gets into e-waste, landfills, nobody knows. So we offer this buyback scheme to our patients. or the users. So you bring any old device, any brand, any make, any quality, anything. So we take that old machine, okay, and we replace that with our Oxymed new machine at a very nominal price. And what we do is we split the entire machine across in a methodical way, so that we know the copper waste is being segregated separate, plastic waste goes to the recycling plant, and then the aluminum sieve beds, canisters, cans, all that gets to the recycling field. So we try to ensure this part of sustainability by trying to minimize the waste of plastic that is going into landfills and other places. And coming to the societal sustainability aspect of this topic, we have close to 450 people working in our company, of which majority of them are from the rural areas.
Okay.
And most of them are women also. So we also try to empower women in our working culture, because orthopedic soft goods is mostly, it's called soft goods. Why? Because it's a soft products. It's like elastic, belts, collars, braces. So the production unit is being run by men, because it involves heavy lifting and machinery, methodical, standing for long hours and all that. And for the women, if you walk into our assembly in our plant, you'd see a lot of women working on the tailoring table. Majority of the stitching, cutting, trimming, logo stamping, packaging work is done by the women, and they all come from the rural India. So that, I think, covers your sustainable topic in terms of operational, environmental, and societal.
Yeah.
So we at Medequip and at Oxymed, we prioritize this and try to reduce the carbon emissions wherever possible we can.
And I have also heard that you have introduced a few financial plans to make the respiratory care accessible to everyone.
Yes, we have not introduced it at our end. The reason being, we don't sell to the end users. Initially, in the conversation before, I mentioned that our partners and our distributors are our strength.
Okay.
So we have partnered with them and made sure that they offer these EMI schemes by tying up with brands like Bajaj Finserv, and there are many other financial schemes. So they have tied up with them so that the people who can't afford to pay 40,000 in one go, they can pay in easy monthly installments, which enables a poor patient who's living in the village to afford quality products and benefit by using the product and not having the financial burden to pay upfront on time. So we have implemented this systems in our supply chain and our by partnering with the right team members who go out into the rural market, give the service, whatever it's needed. So that aspect of it is taken care of from the company and by the local support.
And I have one more interesting question for you. So as a founder, how you are balancing scaling up the profitable business, considering the social impact in mind?
First thing is, when you give a quality products at an affordable price, right? The reusability of the products is for a long time, right? So it's not like just to make business you're giving a product for the sake of making business, and then the patient is not getting benefited out of it. They're using the product, but not for the actual lifespan of the product. Then what's the use? They're paying money, but they're not getting getting their return on their investment, right? So that is what we have taken into consideration, because I myself have faced a lot of issues in terms of when you go buy a particular product, you pay a lot of money, and then you're disappointed by its performance, and there's nothing you can do, right? So I don't want the general people to go through that with the products that we manufacture, which kind of impacts our brand name and our reputation, what we build over the years.
Got you.
Right? So giving the right product at the right quality with the right price is what kind of balances the entire spectrum of the question that you asked.
And one more thing, so if somebody would like to get into the medical industry, would you like to provide any piece of advice for them? So what they have to keep in mind before getting to the business? So how difficult it is, or how easy it is? Like, can somebody dream of getting into the medical sector or healthcare sector in India?
See, again, easy and difficult. It depends on an individual's mindset.
Okay.
Right? If you really love what you're doing, things becomes easy. If you're doing it for the heck of doing, then things become difficult. Right? So I think every industry in itself is highly competitive in India, because Indian market is like that. Right? You get into paper industry, you get into automobile, you get into lighting, it's highly competitive. right? So healthcare is also equally competitive, which we realize only after getting it. It all looks brighter. Oh, medical industry, there's a lot of profit, there's a lot of margin, people are making a lot of money. These are all just talks. We being in the industry, we know how difficult it is and how highly competitive this is, right? So like any other industry, medical device is a very difficult market. But again, if you have the willpower, like you said, if you dream of doing something in the medical industry, then sky is the limit. Nothing is impossible. It is the willpower what you have inside within you that you have to do something, you have to achieve something. If you have that and if you love what you're doing, then I think everything else will fall into place. And in India, as a working environment or a working culture, India is a huge market with huge potential, right? Considering now how things are being promoted towards make in India, you can make for the world. Sky is the limit. And in terms of the government policies and systems that are put in place, you have to first understand, dive deep into the subject, understand what needs to be done. You can't just blindly go and jump into the field and say, I want to achieve something in the medical industry. No, study about it. Maybe work in a particular industry for some time, understand the industry, how easy or difficult it is. Because sitting outside the industry and trying to want to get into the industry, it all looks fancy and kind of looks doable. Only once you get into the industry, once you see the hardship of the medical device industry, what rules and regulations you have to follow, the kind of quality consistency you have to maintain, how easy or difficult, it takes a long time for you to understand. So I would say that if anybody wants to get into this industry, first work in the industry for a few years, right? Understand the industry, then take a choice or a decision to get into the industry and do something on your own. Like how I started my career.
Correct.
I worked from the grassroots levels of working in the shop, trying to understand the market, how people are buying, what people need, what kind of quality consistency is required.
Okay.
So it's a vast subject. You have to understand the entirety of it, which is difficult and it takes a long time. So it took me almost 4.5, 5 years for me to understand the industry and then take a leap of faith in terms of starting a business in the industry.
Okay.
So I would say, give it a thought. Study, understand the market systems, the legalities, the processes involved, understand the segment, and then probably get into the medical industry. Otherwise, you might end up just being a trader who's dealing with low quality products and not doing justice to the kind of work that needs to be done in the medical industry.
Got you. Yeah. As we are touching upon the complex market and also the competition, right? How important it is to having our own USP to win this race?
See, what is a USP? Unique selling proposition.
Yeah.
So it depends. See, it's all marketing, right? At the end of the day, how you sell yourself or how you sell your product is what really matters. You can have two different same apples and then create one USP for this and not the other, and then sell the same apple to the end user. So it's about how you build that USP. And of course, like I said, if there is a product in the medical device industry, think about how you can improve the product in many ways. Like how will this product benefit me, right? What features can I add to this that will benefit me, not just for the sake of it, right? That has to be useful for you. So a USP can be defined in terms of marketing and in terms of value addition, in terms of value addition to the product that you can add, in terms of features that are usable for you. It could be AI, it could be cloud-based, it could be user-friendly, ease of using the products, user interface, whatever, So these are the things you can add into a product to make it like a unique product and have your own USP to sell it. Or you can create your own USP and then it's all about selling and conviction.
As you are dealing with different personalities on day-to-day basis, would you like to call out any one quality which really helped you in your professional career?
One quality is very difficult for, I think, for a person like me. I think from my general observation, what I have noticed is to stay calm and composed and have an open mind and listen to people, right? Listen to what the end users need, listen to what your dealers need, listen to what the doctors need, listen to what the patients need. So I think the more you listen and the more open mind you have, you can come up with a lot of new ideas that could, help people. I think if you have like a mind block, you don't want to listen, you know what you're doing, you know everything. I think that's the beginning of your downfall. So I think listen to what the people need is very important. Staying calm and composed in very critical situations, because when you deal with medical devices, it's a device. Anything can go wrong at any point of time.
Yeah.
People throw their tantrums at you. They lose their temper at you. They yell at you. They threaten you that they'll take you to the consumer court and things like that. We solve those issues. So at that time, you have to stay calm and composed because they are your customers. You can't lose your temper on them, and then you can't react to their reaction. You have to stay calm and composed and try to give a proper solution to them. So I think it's a mixture of multiple traits which you have to balance together to solve multiple issues or to grow well in business.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, yes, it does. And one more thing is, so normally in business, storytelling is like very important. Do you also think in your field, storytelling matters a lot?
Of course, everyone loves a good story. So yeah, I think marketing is also an art of presenting yourself, presenting a story around that product. You build something around it. So I think storytelling is a very important thing in any aspect of life. Like if I ask you a question, tell me about yourself. So there are certain things you know about yourself, and there are certain things that you put across in a certain way, and you want to make it sound interesting because you're trying to sell yourself, your character, your name, what comes behind it. So I think storytelling is an art which everybody uses at different points of life, or maybe they're using it in their everyday, but they don't realize. Storytelling is very important, and everyone loves a good story. So it's the way of how you put things across, how you sell a product, how you sell yourself, how you sell the trust factor, how you sell multiple things. It all depends on the art of storytelling. How do you think advertising industry works? They're selling a concept, they're selling a story in like 15 to 20 seconds.
Yeah.
That's an art, right?
Yeah.
So the end user has to buy that story. They need to be convinced by that story. So everybody loves a good story.
Apart from the work, what one habit keeping you so grounded and focused?
It's not one habit. I think it's my family and my daughter. And if you talk about habits, well, I used to be a national level badminton player.
Okay.
So I love playing badminton. So I stay in a gated community where I have a good group of people, playing badminton together. I think that sport, badminton it's a very fast game with high eye-hand coordination and things like that. That can be called as a hobby, but what is that one thing that's keeping me grounded? I think it's the family and the values that you're brought up, and the hardships that you've seen in the past, and the hardships that your parents have gone through to bring you up. These are the things I think that keeps you grounded, I guess.
Yeah, well, so if you had not entered this field, what else you would be doing by now?
I have no idea what I would have been doing, but one thing I know for sure is I would have started something on my own.
Okay.
It could have been a pani puri store. It could have been something. I would have done something on my own, because, like I said, in my past experience where I got rejected in the job after being selected, since then my mind has always been thinking about, oh, my dad was always right. Entrepreneurial journey is very challenging, but it's very fruitful at the end of the day, right? You have your hurdles, you have your challenges, but the result, the satisfaction is there because you've created something on your own. You've built that from the grassroots level. So that feeling is something. So I think I would have chased that feeling rather than anything else, and would have started something. I have no idea what I would have. Going back 10 years, at that time, maybe I would have started a restaurant, because at that time I was staying in Koramangala and I could see a lot of these new restaurants popping up, and I thought it was very challenging to run a restaurant and maintain the quality and consistency for a very long time, build a brand name, reputation. So at that time, I would have thought on the restaurant side if I was not guided towards the medical industry from my father and his close friends. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we are almost at the end of this episode. I just have like 2 more questions for you. What next in terms of innovation through your organization?
See, right now the thought process is to establish what we have set up, because we've grown fast in a very short span of time. So there is a lot of investments required for us to scale at that level.
Okay.
And when you talk about innovation comes at a cost.
Yeah.
Right? So currently we are looking at various parts of, for example, in the orthopedic soft goods, we were the first ones in India to launch something called a DLS mechanism, right? Which is not the conventional Velcro you used to pull and pull and unlock and all that. It's like a mechanism. It's a dial lock system mechanism. So you spin the mechanism, it tightens and it gives you support from all sides. So we were the first one to launch this in India.
Okay.
And soon we will be implementing, like I said, the cloud-based system in our CPAP and BiPAP, where a doctor can sit here and monitor the patients from remote areas.
Okay.
And we also have, in oxygen concentrator, we have a IoT-based system which is being worked on, R&D is being done, wherein your oxygen saturation and the oxygen purity can be monitored by you in the phone. Old people who are bedridden, who can't get up and go turn the oxygen on, come back, check their pulse oximeter, all that. You just put one small probe which is fixed to your finger, and you can just see through your phone. Everything is on the phone, and this can be monitored by a family member. If a mother is ill, if the father is ill, it can be monitored by the son or the daughter who is not at home but remotely outside. So these are the small things in terms of innovation we are trying to add on, because India's aging population is growing. Right? A lot of people need care at home.
Yeah.
And things are also moving towards that ease of using the device and monitoring remotely, because not everybody can stay at home and monitor their elderly parents all the time. You have home care people, yes, but home care people, again, everybody who's going to monitor the entire vitals of it. And there are not many trained people in this whole segment to monitor this. So everything is on your phone. You can see the data on your phone, and if the saturation is dropping, you get an alarm warning. If the purity is dropping, you get an alarm warning. So everything is set in that way. So that innovation we are working on, which will be implemented in the next few months to come.
Got you. Good information. Would you like to provide any piece of advice for my viewers in terms of right use of medical devices?
Right use of medical device?
Yeah.
I think any manufacturer or a distributor has to educate their users, people who come to a point of sale. For example, I'm a retail shop. You come to me to buy a particular medical device. I should be trained to train you to show you how to demonstrate the product, not just switch on the product, switch off, and any problem you come to me. Everybody is interested in, at the end of the day, people just want to sell the device and make money. Everybody's bothered about how much money they're taking home.
Yeah.
So they don't have the time and the patience to sit and educate the person who's coming to buy product from you. I think this change has to be brought about in the industry, which we are doing. I don't know if everybody else is doing. So when we go to our dealer or the distributor or a partner who's buying from us, we train them in terms of telling them, sir, these are the main points. We give them a small card saying that, sir, you don't have to talk too much about these things, but these are the main few things that you have to mention to the person who's buying the product from you, right? You're selling the product, you're making the money, everything is fine. But are you conveying the right message of using the right product to the right person? Are you doing it? Yes or no? If you're not, I think it's the time to start doing it now. Okay. So we educate our dealers and the distributors to do this, and most of them are doing, and we can't monitor this on a daily basis, but we try our level best to make sure that the right message is conveyed to the end user in a systematic way.
Maybe we look at from the consumer end, so they can voluntarily ask whenever they are buying any medical devices, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some people tend to ask. Some people tend to ask too many questions in detail, and the dealer should be happy to explain this to them, because he's not just selling a product; he's also trying to help them save their lives, right? Yeah. So I think it's very important to convey the right message to the end user in terms of do's and don'ts, etc.
If somebody would like to get in touch with you to know more about your products or your organization, so would you like to share your company information or your contact details here?
Sure. My full name is, as you can see below, it's Suhas Shubhakaran. Yeah. I'm on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I reply to any request within 24 to 48 hours.
Sure.
And the company website is www.medequip.co.in. So all the information is there on the website. You can definitely log in, and you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to reply and connect.
Sure. Thanks a lot. It was a great time. Nice talking to you. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you for asking the right questions, and it was a pleasure to be here as well.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. We'll meet again.
Thank you.
This is a small token of gratitude.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking time out.
Thank you for having me here.
Dear viewers, we had a nice conversation with Mr. Suhas. I personally enjoyed this experience. I hope you also enjoyed this episode. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.